And the defense calls its first witnesses today to try and prove that Brooks, Houck and Joseph Lawson had nothing to do with the murder of Crystal Rogers. It is our top story at 5. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. New testimony today trying to establish an alibi for Houck and for Lawson. The defense called another raccoon hunter to the stand. He was also near the Houck family farm that day and disagreed with earlier witnesses, saying he didn't see a white Buick on the property that day.
And jurors heard another expert who testified that the cell phone records putting Lawson on the Bluegrass Parkway could be wrong. The first Houck family member also taking the stand today. The jury had more questions for Brooks Houck's sister than any other witness. Shay McAlister joining us live in Bowling Green right now. And Shay, we're talking about Rhonda Mackoy. She's Brooks' sister, and she was asked some very pointed questions about her whereabouts on that last day Crystal was seen alive, July 3rd, 2015.
Yes, she was. She told the jurors that she was in Louisville that day with her husband and their 3 kids. She said they were visiting the Kentucky Science Center, that they took multiple pictures in the Kentucky Science Center, and that they also took a picture outside at the giant slugger bat, which we all know is right across the street. Well, the juror had a question for her saying, okay, well, if you were in Louisville that day, did you stay there that night? She said, no, we didn't stay that night. We went back to Bardstown, and they asked, well, when did you get home? And she couldn't give a complete answer on that. What she did say is that she remembers leaving the museum right around 7, and she said it's about an hour to get back home to Bardstown. Doug and Connie?
That the Houck family farm was also a topic of conversation today. So what did his sister tell jurors about the property?
She was able to paint a picture of what this property looked like back then. She said it was a big rural farm area. There was a white farmhouse there. There was a big metal barn that Brooks used to store things like flooring and bathtubs for the houses that he would flip. And then there was a little wooden barn that she said was very run down right behind the White House. She also said that they did not have hogs in 2015, but they did have what she described as little pink pigs with black spots on them. They showed a picture of the pigs, and they certainly were not hogs, but they certainly weren't little. They looked like they could have been 40, 50-pound pigs.
Now, the grand jury recordings were such a big piece of information when they came out years ago. We won't forget that. Did the attorneys ask her why she took that recorder in and secretly recorded those that grand jury testimony, Shay?
Yes, they did, and her answer was simple. She said she was paranoid. She said her family was getting hit with tons of threats and accusations. In fact, she was so nervous about what she called a lot of finger pointing at her family that she and her husband actually packed up and moved to North Carolina later in the year in 2015. They have since moved back. They now live on the Houck family farm, and they moved back in 2020. But here's what she had to say about those recordings. She said that she wanted to make sure she knew what she said and what she didn't say. She wanted proof of what she had said. And the prosecutor pushed her a little bit to say, well, why did you push back? Because on the recording, she's heard telling Brooks that she doesn't want to take the recorder into the room. He says, well, why did you push back if you wanted that proof? She said, well, I don't remember doing that. He shows her the transcript of it. Even then, she said, I still don't remember that. Interestingly, the prosecutor also asked her, did you know that all of your family members took recorders as well and they were all found together? And she said no. She said that she had no idea that all of her family members also took recorders in until many years later when it was revealed in Brooks Houck's arraignment. And then she says the first time she found out is when she saw it on the news.
Shay, thank you very much. We want to let everybody know that in just a few minutes right here tonight at 5:30, WHAS 11 News legal analyst Nick Mudd is going to be joining Connie and I here. We'll be asking him a lot of questions about today's testimony. As the judge also announced in the courtroom today, by the way, that the jury could get this case by next Tuesday with closing arguments on Monday. He sort of laid out a loose timeline of how this case could be progressing now. And at 9 tonight, I'll be back with Nick, Shay, and Alexandra Goldberg on WHAS 11 Plus as we bring you our 30-minute special wrap-up. It's all new. To watch it, download for free and watch on your TV right here tonight at 9.